Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to resize and rescale images and video frames in OpenCV. Now, we usually resize and rescale video files and images to prevent computational strain. Large media files tend to store a lot of information in it, and displaying it takes up a lot of processing needs that your computer needs to assign. So by resizing and rescaling, we're actually trying to get rid of some of that information. Rescaling a video implies modifying its height and width to a particular height and width. Generally, it's always best practice to downscale or change the width and height of your video files to a smaller value than the original dimensions. The reason for this is because, while most cameras, your webcam included, do not support going higher than its maximum capability. So for example, if your camera shoots in 720p, chances are it's not going to be able to shoot in 1080p or higher. So to rescale a video frame or an image, we can create a function called def rescale frame, and we can pass in the frame to be resized and a scale value, which by default we're going to set as 0.75. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to say width is equal to frame.shape of one times scale, and I'm going to copy this and do the same thing for the height. Now remember, frame.shape of 1 is basically the width of your frame or your image, and frame.shape of 0 is basically the height of the image. Now, since width and height are integers, I can actually convert these floating point values to an integer by converting it to an int. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to create a variable called dimensions and set this equal to a tuple of width, height. And we can actually return cv.resize the frame, the dimensions, and we can pass in an interpolations of cv.inter_area. Now we'll be talking about cv.resize in an upcoming video, but for now just note that it resizes the frame to a particular dimension. So that's all our function does. It takes in the frame and it scales that frame by a particular scale value, which by default is 0.75. So let's actually try to see this in action. Let's go back to this read.py and grab this code. And we can paste that there. We don't need images for now. And I'll comment these out. Now what I'm going to do is, after I read in the frame, I'm going to create a new frame called frame_resized and set this equal to rescale frame of the frame, and let's leave the scale value as 0.75. And we can actually display this video resized by passing in the frame underscore resized. So let's save that and run python rescale.py. That was an error. Okay, we don't need this. Let's close that out. Save that and run. And this was our original video, and this is actually a resized video. The video resized by 0.75 or 75%. We can modify this by changing the scale value to maybe 0.2. So we're rescaling it to 20%. And we get an even smaller video in a new window. So let's close that out. Now you can also apply this on images. So let's uncomment that out, change that to cat.jpg, and we can do a cv.imshow image and pass in the resized image, and we can create a resized image by calling rescale frame, and we could pass in the img. So let's save that in run. And this is a small videos, we're not concerned with that. This is actually the big image, the large image, and this is the resized version of this image. So let's close that out. Now there is another way of rescaling or resizing video frames specifically, and that's by actually using the capture.set method. Now this is specifically for videos and won't work for images. So let's go ahead and try to do that. Let's call this def change res. So we're changing the resolution of the image, of the video. And we can pass in a width and a height. And what we're going to do is we're going to say capture.set 3, width. And we're going to do the same thing with capture.set 4, height. Now 3 and 4 basically stand for the properties of this capture class. So 3 references the width and 4 references the height. You can also expand this to maybe change the brightness in the image, and I think you can reference that by setting this to 10. But for now we're going to be interested in the width and the height. Now, I do want to point out this. This method will work for images, videos, and live video. Basically for everything you can use this rescale frame method. But the change res function only works for live video. That is video you read in from an external camera or your webcam, for instance. So video that is going on currently. This is not going to work on standalone video files that already exist. It just doesn't work. So if you're trying to change the resolution of live video, then go with this function. If you're trying to change the resolution of an already existing video, then go with this function. So that's pretty much it for this video. So we talked about how to resize and rescale video frames and images in OpenCV. In the next video, we'll be talking about how to draw shapes and write text on an image. So if that's everything, I'll see you guys in the next video.